G'day viewers, it's Michael here again and welcome to this special edition of Single Racer. Now, for those of you that are regular viewers, you might have heard me mention that my brother and I get together once a month, mainly to play a whole bunch of games, usually sim racing games, but also just to catch up. And on his last visit, he recommended this amazing VR game to me, and I just wanted to sort of tell you about it and show you some of its features. Now, the game is called Defense Grid 2, and it's been around for a reasonable while in its pancake version. Originally, the first Defense Grid game was released in 2008 and was very, very popular. And this game as well, maybe not as popular, judging by the Metacritic viewers, but you know, that's just the way it is. But they've also now released this enhanced VR version, specifically for all of us lucky enough to own VR headsets. So that's what I want to show you today. And that's the good news. The bad news is that, you know, and I use bad news lightly in that it's not available on Steam. Now, Steam has the two pancake versions, so Defense Grid 1 and 2, but no VR version, because it's exclusive to the Oculus Rift store. Now, I say bad news, but quite frankly, so this game works in the same principle as the pinball game as well, where you buy the actual DLC, or in this case, the full game in the game itself. Now, in this case, you can actually download the first 4 levels for free, and that's why my brother suggested I give it a try. And when I say bad news, it's you could argue that the Rift, for the number of people that own a Rift, is still a niche. You know, it's still a concept where a lot of people think of it like 3D and think it'll go the same way as 3D televisions, where most TV companies are not making 3D TVs anymore. So there's always that risk that VR headsets can go that way. I don't think so. But I view one of my favourite VR channels. Now, it's called Virtual Reality Oasis, and it's done by a guy with a fantastic name of Mike, same as me, of course. And but he used an expression once where he talked about a game that had, I can't quite remember, but it was something within the game. So the term that he used, if you consider virtual reality as still a niche thing, but he described it as a niche within a niche within a niche. So what you could argue is, when you think of the 3 major big selling games, so arguably the Call of Duty series, Far Cry series, and especially GTA 5, they all sell millions of copies, if not billions, but definitely millions of copies. So you could argue that the companies who make the games are rolling in money, or at least enough to put fantastic features within their games. So I don't blame Oculus in the sense that there seems to be no way on the Oculus site to get DLC as a separate entity, the way Steam does. So the way Steam does it with Pinball Effects 2, for example, is you can tag the DLC into your wish list and you'll just get a notification when it's on special. Well, you can't do that with Oculus, which, you know, you could argue is a bad thing, but the way I look at it is I want Oculus, therefore the Oculus Rift, therefore in a wider scale VR to succeed. I think VR, especially for sim racing, is just spectacular. And just like this, now I'm standing in my room and I can't see anything. For those people that don't own VR, I can't see anything in my room because the way the headset blocks out any cue that I'm in a room. So when I look around like this, I feel that I'm in this spaceship, or whatever you want to call it, just looking at the screen all around. And this to me is just tremendous, and I don't want to see this die. So in a way, I understand that Oculus are in that tough position where they haven't got a big million-seller game like Call of Duty that they can pull endless amounts of money from to go ahead. So the fact that, okay, you might have to pay full price, and when I say full price, I mean I think it's $22 or $23. So it's not a lot of money really, but you know, I'll leave it up to you whether you consider that a good or bad thing. So let's move on to the level. Now, you get the first 4 levels here for free, and when I say 4 levels, you've got a training level. So the 4th level is where you have the option to pay. There it is there, this chapter, unlocked with purchase. Or you can go back and play the first level, the prologue, which is your typical training level if you've ever played Command and Conquer, that type of thing. And then you got the 3 levels. I'll show you the second stage, the first level, just because it's the most physically pleasing, I think, personally. So let me show you that now, and we'll just do it casual, and there's my score as well. So I'll just play it again, and I'll play actually deliberately
seems like an asteroid mining facility.
Easier,
a long trip, even this
just to show you some of the features that it has, rather than trying to win the game. So I'll just wait for a bit of the talking to quieten down before I go into it in detail, but it's just the usual advice that I give always, is that I'm in my room, in my mapped out play area, and this game has a fantastic feature where your left toggle stick sets where or resets the vision that you see. So in other words, I can move around like this. So if I lift my headset, for example, I see where I'm standing, and then what I do is just simply press the toggle stick and it'll reset its position. The advantage of this is that I then, like I say, I have 2 or 3 steps before I hit my computer desk, and that means I can lean forward and just see. So here is your kind of main area. I forget what this is called, but they're your cores. So those blue things floating around are your cores. Now the aliens don't start. So the aliens start there in 20 waves. And you have here your resources, which is what builds your towers. So this is specifically a tower defense game. And you build your towers to guard against the aliens. And then you have 20 waves of aliens, and it's whether you can stop them coming out of here and walking down the path and making it to the tower, pinching the cores, and then making their way back into that escape pod again. And what it has is a way of building the towers on these squares, and it's your strategy and how you think you can best place them to block the aliens from reaching that core at the end. And so the aliens don't start till I build the first structure. So let me do that now. So you have 3 to choose from. Now this is on the basic level, the very first level, if you don't count the tutorial. And you get more and more fancy towers as well as more and more fancy aliens. Now, when the aliens come out, if you just lift your head, so it's triggered by my head lifting here, I can see what aliens come out in the first wave, and it'll show me what towers or what they're weak against, which particular towers. So that'll match the picture here, as you can see. And then if I turn my head here, I can get a confirmation of what the controllers do and how it all operates. So that's basically it. So here, if I have a look, here's the cost of the towers. And then I look up and I see how many resources I have, or if you think of it as just straight out cash. And that's what then will tell me that I can build it. So what I'll do is I'll start it off, which will start the aliens off. Now here, I can strategically place another tower to block them. So that forces them then to go, once they start coming out here, to go, instead of going up here, they're forced to go and go here. So I can build another tower here, and I'll build a nice flamethrower here, and that blocks them off again. So they're forced to turn, and every time they turn, they slow down, and they're trying to make it to here. And I'll build one last tower here with the guns. It's my favourite tower. And there they go. So have a look at them, and I can lean up close. Absolutely incredible. And it's whether the aliens can make it to grab the cores. Now, my winning score was with 7 towers, and I'll deliberately hold it at 5 to hopefully show you that some of the aliens can make it and how they grab the cores and move away. So what happens is now the next wave, if you see the dots disappearing, here comes wave 2. And what I'll do is, this game can be quite long, it's say 20 to 25 minutes. So in the middle cores, I'll skip over and just go to the end, just to make the video a bit shorter. But I want to show you how you can upgrade the towers as well. So here we have your basic towers, and you don't get many aliens coming out. So these are your little, if you want to be sure what they are, you just look up and your headset triggers that icon to show you. These are basically all swarmers, and there they go. The towers will easily defeat them. Look at that flamethrower, incredible. Just the detail on that. And here's another thing too, is each level have a little extra bonuses. So if you see that over there underneath the score, I have 5 of 5. And what they are their gold cores that are like these blue ones, except maybe 3 to 4 times bigger, hidden throughout the map. And you'll get bonuses, I think, when you find them on the next map. There'll be 5 hidden sort of in various spots, and you try and find them.
You're doing great.
And then you'll have...
Indeed.
All
After all
right.
this space travel, I expect chasing after aliens feels especially good.
Yeah, definitely. Be really nice to go for a run, too.
Try not running for about 1,000
Now
years.
here's some aliens that almost make it. There's one grabbing a core. So he's grabbed the core as well. And then the idea is that they try and make it back to here. So your score, there's my score competing against the last score. Or one time I fluked that my brother was on at the same time, and his score actually showed up in the place of my last score. So I could actually play the game in a sense and see, am I beating him or behind him as we play the game. Now his is set into memory, of course, but it's basically the score raising as each wave of the aliens come out there. Quite incredible game, and it's just whether you enjoy that strategy of where do you place the towers to force them to turn. Will they make it? So here they go. So they'll grab the cores there, but they've got to make it back as well. So your score is based on whether you stop the aliens before they make it to the core, and then your resources will go up increasingly by how successful you are. And then as each alien gets the core, and see as they're killed, the cores slowly move back, incredible detail, then your score will diminish by how far they get back. And if they make it all the way out, of course, then your score is severely hampered, and you get a final score which you can see how you do to other people, on the scoreboard at the end, and just basically that is the game. So you could argue, I could understand saying someone who says it's a little boring, because my brother did warn me that you essentially what you do is you set the towers, and once they're done you upgrade them. But basically once you upgrade them, so when I say upgrade, you can click on it here. So I'll do one in the back as an example. and then you can upgrade, providing you've got the cost there to upgrade it. You upgrade it, it'll sink down into its little compartment there, beautiful, and reset. So you want to do this strategically to not have any aliens. See, and I've got aliens making it back now, unfortunately, so my score's going to decrease. And I think because I didn't upgrade them in time, so when you upgrade it, you want to strategically upgrade it before the next lot of aliens come out. And I'll do that here. So hopefully it'll come out upgraded, yep, like that. And get that last one, yes he does, and then that'll the core will make its way slowly back. So I'm going to do terrible in this round compared to my previous round. So let's hopefully that flamethrower can stop a few. No, that's not the flamethrower, that's one of the machine guns. And see on there you've got a single machine gun. So if I upgrade that now, just to show you, I did it at a bad time. But now it'll come up with two, and hopefully it'll reach. So the strategy part comes that if you highlight it and hold the A button down, you can see where it covers on the map. So the idea here, for example, is to have two towers that overlap, and that way they fire together and kind of strengthen the ability to shoot any of the aliens coming out. So what I might do is I've got enough now to upgrade them to red. So that red is the highest thing, and it'll cost you more resources as you go. So the game scores works around the principle that I could build towers on every square, but it'll cost me resources and cost me in the score. So the strategy part comes with building enough towers, or maybe less towers but more higher leveled towers, to stop the aliens, but build less enough that you get a higher score but still manage to stop the aliens. So that's where the strategy comes in. Now quickly before the more come out, I probably did that at a bad time, but I'll do that one. Oh, there we go. No, it just made it. So now you've got really powerful weapons. So is this enough now to stop?
Simon was complaining to me about missing a run, I believe it was.
Seriously? What's up with that? Try being a freaking AI.
Wait a minute, that's not what I said.
I don't think he could manage it for 10 minutes.
Can you imagine his first system to frag?
So there's an example where they overlap. See, so the two overlap together and
Okay, fine.
can combine their power to shoot the aliens before they make it all the way to the end. Absolutely awesome game. And one of the other small things that it has, like I said, with the those 5 golden cores where they're hidden throughout the map, is you also just got these, they're nothing but visual effects, but if you click on them, they'll just, you know, add a little visual extra to it. Here you've got the working machine here, quite incredible, and I really like these steam towers over here. So they're just little effects to make the game a bit more appealing just generally. Absolutely terrific. Now, like I said, the game can be quite long in that it's about 20 or 25 minutes. So what I'll do is I'll let the game play out, and I'll come back in the last 2 or 3 waves and just sum it up in the end. So let me skip to that now, just to save time in the video. Okay folks, so here we are back with the last 3 waves, and this is where I did my strategy wrong, but it was actually a deliberate thing. So as you can see, I'm clearly behind in my score, and that's the great thing, is you can replay a mission as many times as you want, especially given that the first 4 missions or the first 3 and the tutorial are for free. and you can just try and beat your high score. Now what I did wrong was I waited too long to upgrade them because I was chatting on all the features of the game, and too many aliens grabbed the cores and actually made it home. And the way you tell that is you can see the cores there, so the ones that are blank are the 4 or 5, sorry, that made it all the way back home. So the aliens carried the cores back and made it all the way back here before they could be killed. Now look how many are coming here, so quite a few. And the orange ones are the cores that here have been carried out, but the aliens have been shot before they could make it back. See, the aliens grab that core again, and the aliens can actually grab cores that are floating in the air too, which I didn't realise. So here we go, here's a bunch of aliens grabbing the cores, now trying to make it back. So they go orange, and then as they make it back, if the guns or the towers can kill them before they make it back, the cores will just float back there like that. Just absolutely incredible, and float back like that and make it. So what are we? We're on the last wave here, so here we go. Here's the last group, and look at them all go together. So like I said, you can just look up and see which are the ones coming out here. So we've got the little swarmers and the big walkers here. And although they do grab the cores, which actually go against your score, so that's how you get your high score, is if you can stop the aliens actually making it to the cores. Yes. And here we go, the last two, and there we go. Now those cores won't add to the score because essentially it's over. So I did terribly on my score, but you at least get the idea of how it all works. So I'll leave it up to you whether you think the game is boring or exciting. My brother absolutely loves it. I love it. Absolutely fantastic.
If the aliens are here, they probably beat us to the human planets.
So here is a full-scale version of the map we just played. Quite incredible, and you can even do a close-up view of the map, but what I do tend to find is the resolution detail comes down a bit, so I didn't feel like showing you that, but you can explore that on your own if you feel like downloading the free demo from Oculus. And let me just show you quickly again. So here's the high score and how I did to my last score, or in the case of if my brother was on, it would show his score and I can see how I can compete. But when you do the next mission, the mission doesn't start till
Shuttle landing in 5.
you build the first tower.
To be clear of aliens, Commander. At least for now.
So just have a look.
Maybe that was just a
Oh
small
gee,
scout team.
I'm scared of heights, and just when you look down you go, oh geez. The detail is incredible. So just a reminder again, you've got 5 gold hidden cores that are bigger than the ones here, and they're hidden throughout the map. Now of course I've already found them, but this is why I stress, I'll lift my head again. I'll just make sure I'm standing at the back of the play space. And Magic, if you watched up to this point, because I know Magic has just bought the Oculus Rift VR headset, remember that if you're at the complete back of your play space and you press the button, that resets your vision. So like in example, if I move forward and press reset, it'll reset to where I'm standing because the sensors sense to where I'm standing. But if I move back now, which is exactly what you want to move as far back as you comfortably can in your play space, then press reset. And that now means that as long as I don't press reset again, I can move 1 or 2 steps forward and look over and under, and without the risk of worrying about hitting my desk or my monitor. And that gives me that advantage that I can trigger all these little extra things on. Just incredible. I like these 3 here. They're just visual effects. As far as I can tell, they don't do anything. Now Andrew, I was curious if you've seen this one, because this is quite amazing, where the little ships come out like that. Just quite incredible. Just a visual extra that you get in the game. And when you play this level, that platform eventually rises just thought you would enjoy this game, and like I said, the first 4 levels are for free if it's something you think you'd be interested in and just want to try it out. So this is Michael signing out for this special edition of Single Race. I hope you liked it. I'll catch you next time. See you later.